Hi, my name is Gabriel and I run WP plugins. And today I'm going to demonstrate my latest premium plugin called the Local Business Superpack. The Local Business Superpack is essentially a plugin that will allow you to easily get functionality related to local businesses to your website. So for instance, you'll get an easy way of adding testimonials, employee information, route planners, a custom Google map, and showcases of your work and more. So in order to demonstrate this plugin, I've set up this website. It's a fictional company called House Painters who, as you may guess, works with painting houses. Now, as I said, the business is of course fictional, but the website is could be most of how a real website would look. So in order to follow this video along, I would encourage you to go to localbusiness.wpbizplugins.com and look through the website before continuing to look here, so you understand what the plugin is about and how it can look in reality. So this website both introduces the plugin itself and also shows you the plugin in action. Now in this video, of course, I haven't added anything to the plugin to the website yet because the plugin isn't installed. That's what I'm going to do and demonstrate to you in this video. But the website is littered with these kind of placeholders I've put here. So for instance, well-known companies House Painters have done business with. I'm going to put images here by using the plugin. Images of company logotypes that you can use in order to instill trust to your customers and your visitors. I'm also going to add testimonials here, 3 testimonials under what our customers say. And finally, down here in the footer, you can see that I've put business information and route planner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the business information, properly structured, properly marked up with structured data, and click the call buttons. And then I'm going to add a simple route planner here that'll allow you to put your position in a text field and press find your way. And you'll be taken to Google Maps and get a route planned for you, basically. So this video will be about installing the plugin and doing the initial configuration of it. So I hope you'll enjoy this and please continue following along. Okay, so we are now in the administration interface of the House Painters website. I am going to start off by installing the plugin and then I'm going to do the initial configuration of it. And then finally, we are going to add the basic components that don't need further configuration to the actual website. So in order to install the plugin, we'll go to plugins and add new. And we'll press upload and we'll press browse. And I will go to where I keep the plugin. You might keep it at another location. We'll select the plugin here. See that it's selected. Then we press install now. Okay, so the plugin is uploaded and we are ready to activate the plugin. So just press here, press activate plugin, and the website will activate it. Okay, so the plugin is activated and we can see right away that we are greeted here with a little screen telling us that we need to configure the plugin, which we're doing in a moment. And then we can also see that our menu, we have got a menu entry here called the Local Business Superpack, which is the configuration. So we can see that it tells us that we need to at least enter our business name and we need to provide address details for our business. And in addition to this, we should also set our business main color. So in order to do this, let's press the provided link here and we'll get to the configuration dialog. You can see that this one sticks until we've actually done the configuration, in order to remind you that it's fairly useless to have the plugin installed and activated unless you're going to configure it. But now we're in the configuration dialog. And the first thing we're going to do, we end up in the graphical and styling settings. Now, this menu here contains all of the configuration possible to do with the plugin. First off, these are the 2 that you need to worry about now, or you need to put time into now. These go into specific functionality and styling with the various components of the plugin. I will show you that in other videos where I configure and use the other components specifically. Then this little tab here allows you to toggle functionality, which is a handy thing that is further explained in the in the documentation. But briefly, it means that if you install this in a business website that don't need showcases or won't use customer logotype list or anything, you can just go in here and shut down or disable that functionality, and nothing will appear in the menu and the functionality won't basically exist, which can be good if you don't want to confuse your clients or users with stuff that they will never use, more or less. But okay, moving on. We need to start by entering our main business color. As you may remember, if you look here, we have a nice orange here. Now you might want to take the exact main business color in order to make this look as good as possible. I am just going to use the standard orange here because I'm not going to be too picky when I do this initial configuration demonstration. So I'm going to press here, select color, and I press the orange, and I press outside. And you can see that we've set the main business color to be orange. Now the rest of the graphical and styling settings, you don't really have to worry about them now. I can say this though, and don't worry if you don't get the following things I'm going to say here, because this isn't terribly important to start out, but you might want to dive into the button CSS classes right away. So the plugin, you're able to set your own custom CSS classes for the buttons. And this will most likely relate to what theme you have. So if you have a theme that uses Bootstrap, for example, which I have, you might want to add these CSS classes. If you have a regular WordPress theme, you might want to write something like this in here. I think that might be the way the foundation does it as well. Anyway, never mind. If you don't understand this, don't worry. You'll get it in time. Basically, what you want to do here is you want to enter the CSS classes that your theme uses for primary buttons. And as my theme uses Bootstrap, these are the primary button Bootstrap CSS classes. So, sorry. Like I said, you don't have to worry about this. Now we need to go to business information, because as it tells us up here, we need to enter our business name and we need to provide address details for our business. So we've done this part now. So we'll press here to business information and we'll have a look through the fields here. You can see that there's right away, there's a thing called the advanced mode. I'm not going to go into depth in that right now, but basically what it does is if you activate this, it exposes more specific fields like your organizational number, and if you're using a post box instead of a proper street address, or if you have an address head like a building name or something like that that isn't relevant to your street address, you can input things like that there. But you don't need to worry about that in the initial configuration. So here you can see that we have business categories and name. So we have the name of the business and we have the main category. We are going to do that in a second here. And then we have the actual kind of locational data. So we have street address, postal code, locality, region, and the address layout. We're also going to go through this in a brief moment. And then finally we have the phone number and the email of the business. And we'll just start from the top. Basically, like the more information you fill in, the better, both for SEO and for your visitors. I mean, people need as much information as they can get, and there's nothing in the plugin that's too kind of elaborate or unnecessary. So even if you activate the advanced mode and fill in as much as you can, that's probably a good thing. So we're going to start here by putting in the name of the business, and as you might remember, we are called the House Painters. Now this field, the main business category, is an important one. This relates to SEO and this relates to how the plugin marks up your data. Now if that sounds too technical, basically what the plugin does is it does proper markup of everything it can in order for search engines to understand what it is that you're communicating. I'm going to show you that in a later video, but basically what this does is it categorizes your business. It tells, because Google might not understand that you're actually a house painter, even if you're called house painters here. That might be fairly obvious, but if you call something else and your website isn't really elaborate on information, Google or other search engines might not understand that this is a local business or a local business of a specific type. So what you need to do here is you need to go through this and you need to find the most specific category relating to your business as you can find. And you can click this and you can see that it's a pretty big list here of everything from hotel, motel, and hostels to bike stores and computer stores, and there's tons of things in here. And basically these little dots you see, they are hierarchical indications. So everything that has 2 dots is under the local business. Everything that has 4 dots is under this one, under the last 2-dotted one. I'm sure we understand what I mean. But basically you can start searching here or looking through the list in order to find the most narrow and specific category for your business. Now I happen to know that there's something called the house painter. And also I should mention that if you don't find anything that's 100% specific, don't worry. These categories come from schema.org, so it's not me who've invented this. It's this the search engines have kind of got together and invented this whole protocol for marking up data properly. But what you need to worry about is finding in a specific category as possible. So for instance, if you don't find a category that's any more specific than local business, then just use local business. It's not that big of a deal. But the more specific and the more narrow, the better. So I'm going to select house painter here. And now we're going to move on to the business location. And I am going to use my address here in Sweden. So if you don't understand Swedish or Swedish addresses, don't worry. We'll start by putting in my address here. Oh, sorry. There we go. Now, it's important that you put in the accurate and specific address that you actually have, because what the plugin does is it will use the address to calculate where you are located geographically. And then it'll use everything in that related to, or rather it will use that information to to output the route planner and to output Google Maps. So you need to put the specific actual address of your company in here. And we'll move on here. Put 1x272. Another locality, this is the city or town or similar. So for instance, if you're in Denver, Colorado, it would be Denver. In my case, I'm in Vällingby, Sweden. So I'll put Vällingby in here. And the region, as it says here, if it's not relevant to your business, you can just leave this empty. And that is because not all countries use regions in the postal system. Sweden, for example, we very rarely use regions in the postal system. So I'm not going to put anything in here. But if you're in a US business or a business from a country who actually uses the region, you should probably, you should put the region in here, obviously. Moving on to the address layout. Now, as it says here, this controls the order of the address elements. And this is simply because most countries differ in how they output addresses and how they arrange the addresses. All countries that I've found at least start with street address on top. So that's always on top here. But you need to arrange these according to your country, basically. So the American address, for instance, would be city first, state, which is the region, and then finally the zip code or the postal code. That would be the American way of doing it. But the Swedish way is postal code first, then city and locality, and then we don't use region. So I'll take region and I'll put it over here. I'll put it in the disabled column. So now this is set up as well. And we'll go to phone number. I'm going to insert something random here. Don't worry about this. This is just for demonstrational purposes. So, and I'm going to add my WPBS plugins address here. So, as it tells it here, we are actually done now. We need to press save. And what the plugin will do then is that it will automatically calculate the geographical position of my business, and it'll also allow me to verify this. So if I press save here, we play the waiting game. You can see that success. The geo coordinates was calculated successfully. Now we just need to verify that they are actually it matches where our business is located. So if I press this, I come to Google Maps, and I can see that yes, indeed, this is indeed where I live. So I'll scroll back and I'll show you that we're actually in, I'll scroll all the way back. Sorry, my internet is fairly slow right now, but it's supposed to update and show you the glorious country of Sweden here. Well, it appears that it doesn't really want to play the game. Okay, well, never mind. Anyway, so I verified that this is the correct place. Good. Now we can move on here, and we can see that it tells us that we've successfully configured the local business Superpack. Great! And basically what this means is that we are now ready to start to use the plugin for real. Now there's a few components of the plugin that won't need any more configuration than this. For instance, the route planner, the Google map, and the business information, or rather that's the components that don't need any more configuration that you can start to use right away. Testimonials showcases information about employees, and the customer logotype list will obviously need you to actually upload information to the, or insert information to the various components. So what we'll do now, and as it tells you right here, you can add the plugin components to your website by using the buttons called the local business Superpack in the native WordPress editor, or by using the built-in widgets available in appearances widgets. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to add the components through widgets first and foremost, because we have prepared, as I told you, we have prepared this, the business information down here, and we prepared the route planner to go here. So I'm now going to add them to the website. Okay, so let's start off by, we can start off by actually removing this notice. Press that, it'll get removed, good. Now we won't be bothered anymore by anything like that. And now we're going to add the business information and the route planner to the website through widgets. Because most themes have widgets or support widgets in various sidebars. So if you go to Appearance and you go to Widgets, you can see here that we have a bunch of sidebar areas in this theme. Now your screen is going to look different, probably very different, because you're probably using another theme than I am. And some themes have a lot of these sidebars, and some themes have very few. But don't worry, because if you don't have enough sidebars to put stuff where you want, you can always use the to put the stuff in the actual pages that you have, or posts, or any other type of content really. Scrolling down here, you can see that all of our components have their own widget here. So we have the business information, we have the customer logos, we have the employees, we have Google Map, Route Planner, Testimonials, and Showcase. So what we are going to do is we're going to add the business information widget to where the business information is currently, the placeholder is currently placed. And then we're going to add the Route Planner to where the Route Planner is placed. And this is in the footer of the website. So we go here and we find the footer widget area. Good. Press here. You can see that this is the business information. This is just a regular text widget, which we are then not going to use anymore. Press delete there. And we're going to take the WP-Biz plugins business information and pull it in here. Good. And we'll as you can see here, the widget comes with a number of configurational options. These are the same options that you will be confronted with if you add it through the native WordPress editor. But it's fairly straightforward, and everything is explained thoroughly down here. It should be no problem understanding what this is. So we'll start by, just for demonstrational purposes, putting business information as the title. You might want to put something else there, I'm not sure, or nothing if you don't want to. And now we'll configure the plugin. And basically this is very easy to configure. All of the things that don't need any information put into them, like the route planner and the Google Map and the business information, are very easy to configure like this. So we'll check here. Do we want to display the information in line? If this is set, the business information will be displayed on one line, suitable for use on the top or the bottom of the page. Well, no, we don't want to do that, because we want to have kind of a little box here with the business information. So we'll press no here. And then do we want to use the schema.org markup? And if this is set, the business will be marked up in accordance to schema.org. And I'd say yes, always use schema.org when you can. If you put several of this widget into your website, for instance, if you want to have business information on the top of the website, and if you want to have it in the bottom of the website as well, I would advise that you only use the schema.org markup on one of them. But now we're only going to have it in the footer, so we need a schema.org markup. So we'll press save. And we'll go here and we'll update the website. And you can see right away that we have our business information put in here right away. Now, something fancy that this does is if we reduce the size like this, we pretend that we are surfing on our mobile. We have reduced the size of the browser window, emulating that we are using a mobile phone. You can see how this would look in mobile. And if we scroll down here, go down here, you can see that we right away have a click to call us button. What this will do is if you're on your phone and you click this, it'll automatically call up this number, our business number. And we can also do this. I can also show you what I talked about with structured data markup for SEO. Is read this little box. I'm not going to pause and read everything here, but basically it links to the Google structured data testing tool that will show you kind of what structured data a website has. So if I open this and I copy this address, put that in here, and we explore, and we can see here that, oh sorry, this is in Swedish now, but yeah, don't worry. Basically, what this tells us is that we have extracted these structured data. We have a house painter, schema.org/house painter. We are called the house painters. We have an address in item 1, which is this. We have a postal address here. We have a street address, that's this one, postal code, address locality. And then we have a telephone called this. We have an email, and then we have geo, which is geo coordinates of the actual placing of the website, of the business. So we can see that we have geo coordinates here. We have a latitude of this and a longitude of this. So basically what we've done here or achieved here is that Google now understands what type of business this is, that it's a house painter, what name we have, the address, the telephone, the geo coordinates, just everything. Which is great for SEO benefits, and because Google and most other search engines are also levitating more and more against using structured data to show more and more information inside the actual search engine. So if you want to hop on that train, you better get structured data markup for most of your site. Anyway, we're going to go back and we are going to add the route planner as well now. Press here, and this is another typical normal text widget. We'll delete this one, and we'll take the widget here and we'll pull in the route planner. And this has no configurational options. We'll just put route, or rather we can actually say, never mind. We'll put route planner in here just for the simplicity and demonstrational purposes. We'll update the site again. You can say that we have a route planner. And now in order to demonstrate how the route planner works, I am going to pretend that I am currently in Gothenburg. As I live just outside of Stockholm, this is going to give me a nice planned route for me, how to get from Gothenburg to Stockholm. So I'll put Gothenburg in here. Like I said, you put where you're actually at right now into this, and you push get directions. And you can see that we get a route planner here that tells us how to get from Gothenburg to Stockholm, where I live, and the different routes possible integrated with Google Maps. And it's like I said before, this is in Swedish, but don't worry, Swedish is beautiful and you'll love it if you try to learn it. So basically that was it. That was the basic configuration, and then adding off the things that are don't require further material, or rather we need to add the Google map as well, but we'll do that in another video. So now what I encourage you to do is I encourage you to browse around this website, localbusiness.wpbusinessplugins.com, Click here, click here, click here, and just browse around and see how the plugin looks. There are more videos here as well of how to set up testimonials and how to set up the showcases, the employees, and the Google mapping here. So just have a browse around and have a look around and feel like home. Thank you very much for watching.